Yes, Manya, can you see the screen? Can? Okay, that's nice. Good. You can. Now here, what are we going to do today? We are going to start off with active and passive, or voice as we call it, right? And can you tell me what you know about active voice and passive voice? What do you remember about it? You've done it in your earlier classes, little bit of everything we have done. Showing the reaction. Okay, showing the reaction. Okay, what is it also about? What is voice about? What is it about? Yes, 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 yes. So when we do about a sentence, as I've told you, what does a sentence have? It has a subject, it has a verb, it has an object, right? So we know what transitive sentences are. We know what intransitive sentences are. So where there's an object, that is a transitive sentence. And when we do voice here, you know, like in every sentence, there's a subject, right? There's a verb and not necessarily an object. But when that sentence shows any kind of action, it's active. The verb is showing some kind of action, isn't it? She plays football, doing something, right? Okay. And or you can say that Ram is watering the plants. He's doing something, isn't it? Right? And like all these sentences, they show some action, right? Who is showing that action? Of course, obviously it is the verb that decides, right? Otherwise, we have done our linking verbs also. How the linking verb, it shows what? A statement. It connects, it gives us more information. It is not action there, isn't it? That is one big thing that we have learned. Now here, when it shows action, who is doing that action? Subject, right? So that means we have action, we have a doer. Yes. And when we are emphasizing on the doer and we have a sentence that has an action, what kind of a sentence will it be? Active voice, right? Yes. Now, if I want to change things a little bit, right? I want to bring a little change here. Okay, otherwise it is always like this. Now, I just want to bring a little change here. I want to bring this over here. I want to bring this over here, right? What will happen to my object? It will be the new subject, right? Then we'll have the verb and we'll have the new object. Of course, it will be RO and this will be R, right? Then what happens to the verb? Will it remain the same? No, there will be changes. There will be changes in the verb. The verb will change its form, right? One is the change will be in the subject verb agreement. Okay, right? Then there will be like this very important relation between the subject verb. It changes, right? So when either of them changes, it will change. First, this was a subject. Now this is a subject. Verb will change accordingly. To change, to show the new relation, right? It might change its form also. Yes, the verb will change its form, right? It could be in the first form over here, right? Might change or it has to change. Yes, we didn't talk about this. I want to show how important this is. This is doing the action now, right? This is, we're talking about the receiver of that action is now more important. First, it was a doer. Now it is the receiver, right? And of course, here, I will add words by. I will add been. Yes or not? Before my new object or my previous subject. Okay. Now here, when I have made all these changes here, I have my new subject. I have a change in the verb, right? I have something which is emphasizing the doer, right? So whether it is by, been, right? Okay. Then I have this also. When this will become which voice? Passive voice. I have changed the verb form. One important difference that you have to remember from narration and voice is the change in the tense. When we do narration, it's tense, tense, tense. You think about tense. When we do voice, it is verb, verb, verb. Okay? V for voice, V for verb. Where are we going to put all the emphasis? What is it that you have to remember? The verb. Because they are action sentences telling us about. Who's doing that? Who's receiving that action? Right? So we will be focusing on the verb here, right? So did I discuss about change of tense? No. And when I do all this here and there, this goes here, this comes there, something added here, something changed over here, all this, because we are aware of when I rewrite a sentence, what are the changes that I need to make? I have not only changed the subject and object positions, right? I have changed so many things more. I'll be changing the form of the verb. When I've changed the form of the verb, I also have a new subject. I have to satisfy them both. There has to be a proper agreement between them. We have done about subject verb agreement, that will be there. Then, of course, here I also have the use of, like whether it is the past tense or, of course, here nothing new is, or you can say nothing is taken away, and it will remain the same. Right? Okay. So this is your passive voice that we are going to focus. Now, I just want you to look at your books here. And what sentences are we going to focus on? Which sentences can be changed into the passive form? Transitive, where there is an object, right? So if I say he runs, I can't change it, right? If I say he runs fast, no, right? So there are sentences which we cannot change. So to change a sentence from an active to a passive, there is to be an object. Okay. Right now, let us look at these rules here. It's very, very important that we go through these rules here before we change them. I'm going to focus on simple sentences right now, right? And then we'll do it accordingly, different kinds of sentences, right? Just like you have your interrogative sentences, your imperative sentences, your continuous, right? Different forms of tenses, right? Okay, then we'll come to that. Now, of course, I've discussed this. This is just a repetition of what I have discussed. Look at the screen, all of you, look at your books here. When we change a sentence in the active voice into the passive, what happens? The object of the sentence becomes its new subject. I told you this. Yes? The verb takes on the passive form. Verb changes. What does it take? It takes be plus past participle, right? And be has different forms. What are the different forms? Is, am, are, was, were, right? And of course, has, have, all this it will take. So, right, so it is here that be, it can become, it can be, otherwise it will be is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had also. Okay, all these things will be there, right? Which form? The participle form of the verb. Clear? Right now, Priya submitted the assignment. Let's write the sentence. It is given in your book. Those who don't have the book, let's look at the blackboard. Let's look at the blackboard, please. So we can identify what's the subject, what's the object, where's the verb, what is the form already? Past. Okay, right. Then there are things that we need to do. Be is very, very important. Okay, and this be is the deciding factor between the subject and the verb. Okay, how am I going to rewrite it? No change in tense. It's already ed. That means it is past, right? Okay, so we have identified the tense of it. Yes. Now look here, what are the changes that need to be done? If I write it here, just rewrite it here, rewrite the sentence with a new subject and a new object. Rewrite the sentence. Come on. The assignment. Yes. Let's not change the verb. The assignment, and what was the subject here? Priya. What was the verb? Does this make any sense? The assignment submitted Priya. We are emphasizing on who submitted it. Okay. Now I have here, because submitted here, what tense is it? Past. Right. So what about that be, been, by? What is going to happen with that? Be is there. Which form of be are we going to use? Because it is ed over here. Was. Right. And of course, who is the doer? Priya. What do I write here? By. This is a big, big identification of voice. Right? So if I just put these things in this order, if I try to make the necessary changes, I try to make a sensible sentence, things will, how will I bring the subject verb agreement? I will see the tense. Accordingly, I will use the forms, right? Before the new object, what would be there? By. Okay, so this is one keyword that helps us in identifying. Okay, now let's move to the next point here. In the passive voice, when the subject comes after the verb, we add by before it to show that it is still the doer. Like here, Rohan painted the fence. If I have to rearrange it, the fence painted Rohan. No. Painted, which tense? Was. So what will become before painted? Was. Who is the doer? Rohan. I write by before the doer. I just do two things. I change the sentence from active to passive. Here in active, it is emphasis on the action, right? Passive on the doer, right? Okay. Now let's hear. The driver parked the car. The driver parked the car. ED, it's already passed. The car was parked by the driver. Very correct. The boys help the old man. Yes, now here. First, what was there? The boys. Let's see. The boys helped. Sorry, the boys help the. Yes. It is a present tense, right? The boys help the old man. Right, boys. What about it? Is it singular or plural? Plural. This is singular. Now, when I rearrange it, let's rearrange it. The old man help the boys. isn't it? Right? Now let us see here. Now I have to change my verb according to the new, and it is not plural now, it is singular. So what comes over here is also very important, right? And what do we use over here? Is. Okay. And of course, the boys help the old man. The verb changes. Which form of the verb? Participle. So ed. Okay. Right? Clear? Because here it is which tense? Present tense. Otherwise, of course, if it had already been in the past tense, then we would have changed accordingly. Right? But we have to remember here, like, of course, this comes here. So our subject verb agreement also has to be appropriate. Okay. Right. So depending what all here. Now next here, as I told you, only transitive verbs, they can be changed. Right. So I like say Mita cries, Mita plays, Mita flies. We can't change that. Right. Okay. So Mita broke the vase or the vase, as you might say. So this you can change. This can be changed. Right. So wherever there is an object, so those kind of sentences, they can be changed. Okay. Right. So please remember. Now we have, of course, as I have said, the teacher is scolding the students. Teacher is scolding the students. Let us write this sentence, all of you. Those at home also practice. Until you do not write down, there will not be any kind of retention. Grammar comes by writing. Grammar does not happen by learning. Okay, you know the rules, you have to apply them, you put them on paper. It is like, of course, either you get 1 mark or you're going to get 0. Okay, so the teacher is scolding the students. What tense is it? ing. Okay, right? Now I change this whole thing. The students scolding the teacher. Oh my God, what a sentence. Very bad sentence, is it? Right? So the teacher is scolding the students scolding the teacher. Oh my God. Now I have to change thing here. The teacher is. Right? But there are students. So I write, okay, the students are scolding. Is scolding correct over here? No. I have to change the verb form. I have to change the verb form. Right? I have to think of this be that has to be added. Right? I will remove this ing. Okay? I'll remove this ing. What will I change to this? Yes, where will this ing go then? It will go here. Right? Are. Then, of course, I have to add by before the. So what do I get? Is it correct? So we can do it this way, right? It's clear? Absolutely, right? So different tenses, what do we have to remember? I have to remember the new subject verb agreement, okay? Right? Students is wrong. Students are correct. Scolding, I can't use scolding, right? I am changing the form of, I'm making it passive. I have to change the verb form. What will happen to the ing? There's a be waiting to be changed into various forms, right? So be will become being, be will become been. If it is already in the past, where will that en go of the past participle? It will go with that being, right? Where will by come? By will become there. right? So these are little tricks, you know, that you have to remember. Okay, right? So we can practice like this. Okay, they are asking me to leave. Let's write this. Let's see what is going to happen here. Yes. How do I rewrite it? Me, okay. I. Then. Wait, let's do it. I. They. To leave. Is it? No, something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong. Yes. That is what we have to do, right? Asking, right? I asking. I R के साथ तो आएगा ही नहीं. I am asking. Okay, where will happen to what will go to this ing? I am being. Ask will become asked. Then what will happen to this they? Where will it come? Where will it come? I am being asked to leave by them, or even it is right if I am being asked to leave is also correct. So let us, we can remove this, or if I still want to, I can write it like this also. Correct? Right? Fine. Because do we start a sentence with me? No. Me will become, right? They will become them. Right? So all the changes, what are the things that you have to remember? The form of the verb. I have to change the form of the verb. Everything will change accordingly. Everything will change accordingly. I've changed the subject, object position. I changed the verb form. Automatically, my subject agreement and everything here by whatever will fall into place. Is it clear? Yes. Now let us see the next thing. These are the rules. Please hear all of you. I want you to, yes, I really don't want to say, but I want you to cram these rules. I just want you to memorize these rules. Okay. Let's just look at it. Simple present. He cleans his car every day. Yes, is cleaned by him every day. So is, am, are, and of course cleaned, the past participle. The simple past, it's already here. Rohit took the car yesterday. Took. Yes, the car was taken by Rohit yesterday. So what are the changes? Of course, it is past. Was, were. And of course, past, but took will become taken, right? Now future, will. Tina will finish the work tomorrow. The work, Tina finish. Will, future. Finished. Finished will become finished. Yes. So the work will be finished by Tina tomorrow, or tomorrow by Tina. Okay. So what is it? When it is future, I have will, be, and your past participle. One thing is constant, that is your past participle. Then what are the things that will be changing? Of course, your subject verb agreement. Okay. Right. Simple future. Tina is going to make dinner tomorrow. Tina is going to make dinner tomorrow. All of you look at your books and tell me. Dinner is going to. Right? Be. made. Make will become made. So to be made by Tina tomorrow, right? So going to be plus past part. So future is going to be, right? Plus past participle. So one thing is very, very common. We have to just decide that, okay, the past participle has to be there. Look at the other sentences. Come and read them. Just hurriedly read them. The places following the suspect continuous. The workers were distributing sweets, past continuous. The teacher has graded the answer sheets. It is present perfect, has graded. So I have the past and the present. Okay, so you have the present perfect. Past perfect. Sumit had driven many cars. Okay, right? So which is already here. So let us just have a look here. Been, right? Where do we use been? Where does been come? In your present perfect, past perfect, then of course in the other future perfect also. Okay, so wherever there is a perfect tense, been would be there. Then you have here, Rohan will have completed the project before the deadline. Yes, future. Will have been completed by Rohan. Okay, past participle. And then of course, modal verbs may discuss the problem, right? The problem may be, once again, may be plus the past participle of the verb. Okay, right? So with this, I think so this is a little introduction here. Little introduction. And yes, with this we have come to an end also, is it?